What's going on, guys? This is Aaron from Departures Capital, and we're here with Alex Langer, President and CEO at Sierra Madre Gold and Silver. It's a pleasure to have you back today, Alex. How are you doing?
Really well. Thanks, Aaron. Thanks so much for having us back.
Yes, I'm excited to get an update. You guys just dropped some really exciting news, but can you start by giving us an update on the company along with telling us everything you've been up to since we last had you on?
Yeah, it's been busy. So when we acquired the La Guitarra project, and again, that's a fully permitted, past producing 500 ton per day mine they were required from First Majestic. We've been busy. We've been working towards getting it back into production kind of as quickly as possible, especially with today's silver prices. Seems to make a lot of sense. So really the major first milestone that we announced in the market is we wanted to complete an NI 43-101 resource report by the end of 2023. And we actually announced it yesterday morning. So we a little bit ahead of schedule, which is always nice. And it grew. It grew the historic resource, which was just over 17 million ounces of silver equivalent, to over 47 million ounces of silver equivalent. So the MNI percentage went up 373%, and the inferred went up 204%. So just a really dramatic increase. And it's really a testament to the project and to our team. In essence, what we had to do is rework quite a bit of the data. There's over 236,000 meters of drilling that's been done at the La Guitarra complex. So we had to reinterpret that. We had to combine multiple databases. And we also had to audit the underground, which was a bit of a process, took some time, but we had to see what had been mined, what it hadn't, and overlaid that information, reinterpreted that, and came out with this pretty exciting resource as a really strong first step.
Definitely, like you said, those are some very impressive numbers. Over 300% increase to the measured and indicated. Inferred, I believe, was over 200% increase. What does it mean for the company moving forward?
So it means that there's a lot of silver and gold there, so which is great. If you're chatting mine life, theoretically, it's much larger than it was. So really, the value of the company, if you wanted to look at it without the value of the mill, without the value of the underground mine, without the value of the equipment, has gone up almost threefold, which is really quite exciting.
Yeah, definitely. So with your main focus being La Guitarra, what is next for the project?
Yeah, very great question. So now that the resource is done, our next major catalyst is going to be our mine restart study. What we're incorporating there is a full mine plan, as well as a full costing estimation. What's great is this project shut down, 5 years ago, so we have a full understanding of our capital costs, especially our production costs. We know what our reagent costs are for flotation cells. We know what our energy costs are. We know what our diesel costs are. We know our flotation and processing costs. We even have an agreement with the unions there, so we know our manpower costs. So usually what a company would do in this case is you would then do a feasibility study, then perhaps a bankable feasibility study, and then maybe a definitive bankable feasibility study. And that takes a long time, and it costs a lot of money. So the fact that we have all this information and we have a built facility, we're going to be pushing it quite aggressively. So when we come out with our cost estimates in this mine restart plan, it's going to be very accurate. So that's a huge milestone, and that's expected towards the end of Q1 2024.
That's great. You'll have some pretty awesome clarity when it comes to all those numbers. So, as we know, it's a pretty large resource. I know the mill's rated for 500 tons per day. Are there any plans to eventually increase capacity once you're in production?
Another great question. Yeah, so you're absolutely right. If you did 500 tons per day with the large resource we have, it would be a long time. I might not even be around by then. So what we are looking at is increasing the capacity of the mill. Just as a refresher, First Majestic was producing about 1.2 to 1.5 million ounces a year of silver equivalent, the 500 ton per day capacity. Now, what's interesting is the flotation cells are actually rated for about 850 tons per day. So already a step up there. We feel they could probably be reworked to pump that up to about 1,000. Now the crushing capacity is actually about 650 tons per day. And again, we feel there's ways to add on to that, maybe adding a crusher underground or a modular facility. And then the grinding circuit is actually rated for 500 tons per day. So that is a bit of the backlog. However, there is space to add another ball mill. You can add another 400 to 500 ton per day ball mill for less than about $500,000 US. and that's something we can do out of cash flow. So you're absolutely right. What's come with this resource is we are looking at making this a larger facility down the road. If we can increase production eventually to 1,000 tons per day, maybe even to 1,500 tons per day, down the road, I think that would be really valuable for the mine, especially with large resource. Starts to make a lot of sense. Having said that, we do want to walk before we run. We did announce we hope, if all goes well and capital is available, that we would hit commercial production in Q1 of 2025, and getting pretty close, at just over a year away. So again, we want to walk. We'll start at a smaller scale and then build up towards that.
So we've covered Sierra Madre for quite some time, even before the large acquisition. Why is now such a key time, for new investors or current shareholders to take a closer look at the company?
Again, I think it's all about de-risking this project. So we made a big splash when we purchased the project from First Majestic. We absolutely love it. I don't think there's many opportunities out there where you have now such a dynamic resource, a full facility built, and the exploration potential. So we feel, again, that the La Guitarra district is one of the largest undeveloped silver districts in Mexico. We have the ability to hopefully get into production relatively quickly, generate cash flows, minimize dilution, and explore the rest of the project. Now that we come with a resource, it's in essence tripled the amount of silver and gold in the ground, which is quite exciting. And with the mine restart plan imminent, I think there's a lot of value that's going to be unlocked here for shareholders moving forward.
Definitely, you've been hard at work on this project. So now I love to talk gold and silver. I know you can't predict the future, but we have seen a nice run for gold recently above 2,000 with a slight pullback. Of course, it always struggles to break that 2,000 and hold it, but we're almost into 2024. Will this be the year for precious metals?
That's a great question. I hope so, honestly. It's been kind of, bouncing up and down here over the last little while, but to be honest, at these prices, it's great, especially if you have a mine in production. A lot of the production companies are making a ton of capital as we speak. So it is one of the impetuses for us as a company to get into production so quickly, is because of the high value of silver and gold right now. I personally feel, this is just a start. I don't know when you will see, a more dramatic price increase. It's going to happen. I just don't know when. I don't know if it's 6 months or 12 months or 18 months. That's one thing I can't control. But one thing we can do is try to accelerate the project, getting it back into production to capitalize on these high prices.
It's a great answer. So where's the best place for investors or prospective shareholders to find out more information on the company?
Yeah, absolutely. Our website, it's nice and easy, sierramadregoldandsilver.com. We have a lot of social media. We're starting to get a bit more engaged there as well. So yeah, all the links. We have a new project video on our website as well. So please feel free to click on that. That gives you a good idea of the project. There's even now a kind of an interactive mine site visit where you can click around and see the underground, see the mill, the tailings, a bunch of different things. So it gives people a really good project eye view of what we have at La Guitarra.
Sounds great, Alex. Well, once again, we've covered you for a while. We've seen the project progress, and best of luck moving forward. I'm sure we'll have more news, and we'll be having you back on in the future.
Thanks so much, Aaron. Appreciate it.
If you like these videos, kindly hit that subscribe button and the bell for notifications. Drop us a comment down below. We'd love to hear from you. And finally, always remember, Departures Capital is for information, education, and entertainment purposes only. Don't buy or sell stock because you heard it on here. Buy or sell stock because you've done your research, you've done your thorough due diligence, and you're making your own personal investment decisions for yourself. This video is not financial advice. Furthermore, this video may or may not have been sponsored by the companies that we've profiled within this video, and we may or may not own shares of any of the profiled companies in this video. If you want to know the full disclosure details, check the description down below along with thoroughly reading our disclaimer. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video.